Classy as fuck.
Welcome to This Won't Last podcast. Fix it and post.
New name for the show.
Yeah.
This Won't Task. The task, the tippity of the tippity.
Ooh, should we rebrand as Fix It and Post?
Oh.
Let me see what's taken.
So, for those of you who are listening, do let us know if you think that we should rebrand. We've talked about it. I believe that I don't know if it's a consensus, but the general idea is that This Won't Last doesn't really...
We keep lasting.
Well, that too. But I always thought that was the irony. That was the joke. It's like...
I do too.
But Paul, you made a good point. It seems like something called This Won't Last would be us criticizing things that we think are going to be failures. Which is partially like, which brings us to our main
Snyder
topic. No, that's not going to bring us to our main topic.
Hey, man, I miss y'all, man. We didn't meet last week.
We didn't, or the week before.
What did we meet the week before? Did we?
Nope. Been 2 weeks.
We met last week, but did not record.
Oh, that we, yeah.
We talked business. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Business.
Last week we went to karaoke. It was 2 weeks ago that we talked
Right,
business.
that's right.
Also, karaoke back?
Karaoke's at this is Florida, D. Karaoke's been back for
Everything back.
most of the year. So introductions.
Yeah, why not?
To left, P Breezy.
What up, though?
To right, D Easy.
P Breezy fed me today.
Boy Slim.
The fed Boy Slim.
Fed Boy Slim. I love it. And I am Ryan.
We ain't hungry no more.
So,
Ryan Buck.
is it taken?
Yes, it kind of is. But they haven't actually done anything in like 3 or 4 years, so maybe we can get it.
Nice.
It's called Debo.
So let us know in the comments, wherever that may be, what you think about us rebranding as Fix It and Post podcast.
Fix it and post this?
Fix It and Postcast.
Post fix? Oh.
Anywho, so shall we get down to business, gentlemen?
Yes. I have a situation that's happening, and I would like to get y'all thoughts about it.
Certainly.
There's a guy named something Jackson. I forget it. He is a influencer online that speaks to women. He always up women. A lot of black men are saying, it would say that he panders to women. But he will always say you need to leave him, and if he's cheating, don't get. He got his brand that says simp tears or something like that are not his tears or drinking his tears or whatever. Cause he makes fun of men that when they cheat they cry. Well, guess what happened to old Derek Jackson?
Do you remember his name now?
Yeah. Guess what happened to old Derek Jackson? He just got caught cheating. Guess what? He did the apology and the simp tears.
Didn't he start out trying to say that he felt betrayed?
So you know what I'm talking about. Let's talk about it.
I don't know anything about it, but I've seen it bits and pieces
everywhere, bro.
Instagram and Facebook and stuff. And I didn't really look into it very much, but I'm not really a drama guy.
But the reason why it's so relatable is because people he let's just say what it is, man. He monetized that whole trying to uplift women. Yep. You know what I mean? And to me, we have a saying in the black community amongst black men that says black men don't cheat. Now, it's not saying that black men don't cheat, but what we're trying to get out there is that black men need to stop cheating. So we're trying to tell the boy, hey, dude, we don't cheat. Yeah. He laughs at that idea of black men don't cheat, and we know why now. Because he was out there cheating. but here's the one thing that's more funny. Nobody even know he was married. He never posted a picture with his wife. He always did the little poses, the little sexual poses, and cause what it is he be what women want, what women really want. He's the man that says the things that they really want for men to say.
He is quite masculine looking.
Broad
shoulders.
Come on, muscles. Bro. If I was a female, I'd be wet.
Well groomed and good looking guy.
But then not only that, then you be like, oh, men ain't no good. You right, Jackson. Men ain't no good.
Just being that sympathetic ear.
And here's the deal. I lean more towards this whole idea of the perfect man and the perfect woman. We shouldn't. I don't think that exists.
No.
But that whole idea of a man cheating on a woman, I'm not down with that. I'm not down with that at all. Any dude that cheats on a woman is a sucker, unless you say, you're sorry and you stop cheating. Then you ain't a sucker no more. That's simple logic. You're a sucker when you do it. When you stop doing it, you ain't a sucker no more. Come on the good side.
Yeah.
But I'm also against the fact of telling people what they want to hear to monetize it. To me, that's nasty.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing else, it's not uncommon. It's certainly not.
Really not.
Like, yeah, there's plenty of people out there who are promoting one thing and then completely doing a different thing.
Yeah.
About 100% of the politicians. And then even, celebrities and this and that and the other. What's this thing about Kylie Jenner?
That was crazy.
Her makeup artist or somebody got sick and had to get a surgery. And it was a $50,000 surgery. Mm-hmm. So she posts on her social to get people to do a GoFundMe.
Wait, first she started the GoFundMe with $15,000.
She's the one that's a quote-unquote self-made billionaire.
Billionaire. With a B.
And she's hitting up all her fans to pay for one of her employees' health care.
Now, see, I didn't know he was an employee. I thought it was just a regular dude that she was like trying to help.
No, I think he was like her makeup artist or something.
That's crazy. That is sick. That is nasty. That is sick and nasty.
Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. But
I mean, that's how you stay rich. Don't spend it.
I mean, that's some next level stingy right there.
Mm-hmm. Don't spend it. Make them print it.
$50,000.
She like what? Y'all
got just $1 billion at least.
Y'all just got them stimmies.
Yeah. Put it out there. Put them up. Put them up. Put them up.
Oh man, Joe.
Didn't mean to sideline that, by the way.
No, that's perfect. Joe, if you listen, I ain't got my stimulus there. I want to be stimulated. I want to be exacerbated.
That's Joe's favorite thing to do is to stimulate people. Listen, it was Donald's favorite thing too. really grabbed him.
He really grabbed him. No, but I just
Donnie's
wanted
the grabber, Joe's the sniffer, apparently.
We didn't talk about that situation with Derek Jackson. I just wanted to throw out there and see what you guys' opinion was.
I don't know enough about it to really make an assessment. Obviously, yes, that is a shitty thing to do. I would understand him not putting his wife out there because she doesn't have any desire to be in the spotlight. I get that. Mm-hmm. But if he's using that to get with women who are fans and things like that, then, yeah, it's extremely shitty. And on top of that, not practicing what you preach. Mm-hmm. And ultimately just being like, creating persona just basically to get laid. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, what I thought was funny, I saw a meme about it. It was like, this man is making videos about not cheating while he's on his way to cheat. Or coming back from cheating. Because he does it in his car, right?
I see. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So, I try not to have opinion on things like that. Especially Man Family. Like a couple of weeks ago, Kurt Franklin. I don't know if y'all guys heard about that. The gospel saying Kurt Franklin.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, his son came out and was like, man, my dad. He recorded his dad in the conversation, and that Kurt Franklin cursed him out good too. But the way he was cursing, I'm like, that boy can't be a Christian. No, but so I really didn't want to have an opinion on that right there. To me, the whole family thing is kind of like, a little bit off limits. But that was a 31-year-old.
Yeah. At some point you're a grown man.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, 32. It's going to be 33. Yeah. I don't know, but we just in some time where things are interesting in these streets.
It's and it's good and it's bad. For every person that you see, was it the girl who basically outed her father for going to the MAGA rally and going to the Capitol riot. And then was it Kellyanne Conway's daughter?
Oh yeah.
And shit like that, basically outing all their parents and showing this stuff and that stuff on the internet. It's like, you don't want to speak up about that because again, it's family. And the other thing is that probably seeing something completely out of context. Mm. So the MAGA guy sounded like he was just doing that whole thing. But if he was one of the people that was at the Capitol building and actually broke in and actually vandalized and deface federal property, then guess what, buddy? You gotta go to jail.
Hey, keep that same energy.
Yep. There you go.
That same energy. Yep. No, it's just been a lot of interesting things going on in our culture. Since we're a pop culture, I just want to bring these things up. I know for me, because I live and a lot of my friends are black and a lot of my timeline is like black and a lot of the stuff that I'm involved in, I'm a part of a site called, a group called Bored Black People. You know, there's a Black Twitter, and I'm in these places, and I just want to bring out some of the things that I find interesting in these different places.
One of the only groups I'm on Facebook is a group called, I watched the entire Overblood Super 8 play. And it's a group of ridiculous folks who are also very, very wonderful and help each other out a lot. But it's all centered around the fact that we all watched the crew of the Game Informer magazine / website play this absolutely awful survival horror game.
I think you'll tell me about this.
I probably told you about it a bunch of times, but it's hilarious, and all the people in it are very interesting folks, and they're all, like I said, they're super nice people. But every now and again, you get into those little corners of the internet and see, oh look, wholesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely like, I only do so much on the internet. At some point, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is enough. Bored Black People. I remember I was part of a group called Savage Memes. I was a part of that group for a day. They were savage, bro.
It was too much.
Bro, there's savagery in there, bro. It was like a bunch of people who knew they could do this because nobody could hold them accountable. And they were saying and do things, bro, like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I'm not easy enough for this. The easy ain't gonna make it.
It'd be difficult.
It's difficult. It was Ryan B. offline stuff in there.
Yeah, that's right. it was the trying to think of what's the opposite of facts.
The fax machine was down.
The false machine.
The false machine. We wouldn't have lasted. Yeah. In there, we wouldn't have
lasted. Anybody? I'm just curious. There was some dude over in Fort Lauderdale, a doctor, who started making meth. Apparently. I guess he got arrested and whatnot.
Tell me more.
It's unfortunately, I can't find it. I thought I pulled it up here, but it doesn't seem right. No, it said 10 years in prison after getting caught selling meth. He raked in $180,000 a year in disability payments from a 2004 car crash.
Oh, wow.
10 years in federal prison after being sentenced last week. Got 5 counts of dealing crystal methamphetamine. 49-year-old online Florida Department of Health profile says his license is set to expire March 31st. But he was an active practicing doctor. Licenses in New York, Kentucky, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, and Tennessee.
Oh, he was everywhere.
And he'd been an emergency room physician until 2014.
He was like, that's time for me to get rich.
This is like quasi Breaking Bad, Walter White territory there. I don't think the guy had cancer or anything, but interestingly enough, is this like a statement as to how we should probably pay our doctors and such better?
Well, I want to ask this question to you guys, and maybe this would be a good point to ask it. So there's
You don't ask me if I'm ready to sell meth. After the podcast.
Come on, bro. I wouldn't put out in the street like that, bro. I wouldn't put this out like that. No, but there's this growing sentiment that all drugs should be legal, and they should come from doctors and stuff like that who makes them.
I have been saying that for years. They should be regulated. There should be fines for violating the regulations. They should be taxed. Those taxes should go to programs to help addicts. The fines from breaking regulation should go to enforcement of the regulations. That way all this stuff can pay for itself. And, you develop programs that help people get back on track, get off the drugs if possible. And if not possible, at least teach them how to responsibly use. That way there's no stigma of them being, okay, it's illegal, but it must be good.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not illegal. It's like alcohol. It's, it's regulated. There's fines. There's fines for, driving impaired. Really, you can already face criminal charges for being impaired on stuff that's not alcohol.
You can be sleepy and get charged.
You're right. Because it's not about whether or not you're on drugs. It's about whether or not your physical capability and your faculties are able to operate a machine. Think about it this way. If you were fucked up and you were on the job and you had to operate a forklift a bulldozer, a backhoe, whatever. OnlyFans. You'd be fired.
Yeah.
You know, why wouldn't that be the same thing in normal life? I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a question about how they determine that. I've been under the influence before, got pulled over and passed a field sobriety test. I've been under the influence before and failed a field sobriety test.
First of all, did y'all just see my homie do that quick? Just what it's called when you that quick stunt on him? I passed one.
It wasn't really a stunt. Like I don't think I was like trashed or anything. I definitely had some alcohol in me, and I was like driving home, and then I got pulled over, and then they put me through the field sobriety test. I passed. They let me go, and they're like, all right, go home. Okay.
Listen, I don't drink that much, and I especially don't.
Then when I got arrested, I was definitely not capable.
But hey, my man he's been redeemed. He did his time, and we preach against drinking and driving. So if you out there drinking and driving, you're a sucker man. Go ahead.
Uber's cheaper than court costs.
Yep. And
easily $20,000. It's $1,000 just to put a lawyer on retainer. It's $1,000 just to pay a bail.
And the whole fact that we don't want nobody to get hurt and all that stuff.
I never hurt anybody. I never hit anybody. I never ran into anybody. I never killed anybody. Never injured anybody. Never endangered anybody, as far as I know. I never with blood on my car or anything.
Stupid.
But never hurt anybody. I just would drive home after a night at the bar, make it home. Usually pretty short. Doesn't matter. Shouldn't have done it.
Bro, you have these Me Too people coming out here.
And to me, like, if you know, well, I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing at all.
No, you didn't finish your outfit. You're going to have these Me Too people coming. Yeah, he ran me over too.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were using Me Too in a different.
No.
That's why I was like, whoa. Anyway, the point being that, like, if I were convincing myself, okay, well, I'm not endangering anybody, this and that and the other, I tell you for sure, the way to convince yourself is money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. It's easily $20,000. State of Florida, you have to carry high risk insurance for 3 years. It easily doubled my insurance. It was $1,000 over what I was paying.
Dang.
Yeah. So three times 2, because I did 6 month payments, times 3.
God, dog. So on Brighton, So you think that you should have? How you feel about the whole drug situation?
Let him have them all. I don't give a shit.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know where I'm at on it. Because that's really not a part of my everyday life. So I don't know. I've never thought about these things. I'm open to listen to a lot of different. If you think that they should have it, then you should be able to tell me why. If you think they should not have it, it should be illegal. You need to tell me why. And then there's people out there in our government that can make those decisions. But on to better news, not sobering news. This news is for men extreme. And a place in Oklahoma has put a $2 million bounty on Bigfoot. Captured. They want him alive and unarmed. Me and Christine is already down. Our ex-teen is already down.
Listen, man. Who's funding this?
Huh?
Who's funding this?
Oh, the small town in Oklahoma.
It's clearly a stunt. Okay, that's ridiculous. Why would he be in Oklahoma? He's obviously still in the Northwest. Don't be dumb. You're being dumb, guys. It's just a stunt.
If I were to capture a skunk ape and transport it to Oklahoma, would that count?
Well, the person you would have to talk to on this is Justin Humphrey.
Good luck traveling that far with a skunk ape.
I mean, I can't get a Yeti from Nepal. I've never even been in Nepal.
Here's the thing, man. I feel like we're doing we're doing some kind of against the Bigfoot people. Like, they're not doing anything nobody. They ain't taking nobody.
The big feet.
The foot people. We're being footist.
The Foot Clan.
I feel like we're being footist. These people ain't messing with nobody. They just enjoying the wilderness. Matter of fact, they probably should put us on charges for messing with them. Us Americans, man, we think we got everything made where we can do everything we want. We got too much power.
Can't live in the land of the free if the animals aren't free.
Thank you.
I can say wholeheartedly You told me that story twice now. I still do not give a shit.
That's because you're the problem.
Maybe it's because I feel targeted as a man with large feet.
It's true. Paul does have large feet, ladies.
They also introduced a bill to establish Bigfoot hunting season.
It's fine. I mean, as long as we all know it's just the publicity stunt.
What is the limit?
I don't know, but you gotta look at that.
How many Bigfoot can you kill?
1.
Is there a size limit? Does it have to be like full adult Bigfoot? Does it have to be grown to a certain size?
Well, it says Representative Justice Humphrey introduced House Bill 1648 on Wednesday, which, if passed, will require the Oklahoma Wildlife Conservative Commission to establish rules for a hunting season for the mythical creature in North America.
Doesn't an animal have to be proven to be a nuisance in order for there to be a hunting season for it?
I guess if you see him, that's a new.
Or if there's enough of them where you can just do it for funsies.
Mm-hmm.
Can't imagine how much of a... No, never mind. I forgot.
I mean, how can you prove Bigfoot's a nuisance? Nobody's ever seen him.
I seen a picture. I was scared.
A blurry nuisance.
Well, guys...
I'm going to start insulting people by calling them that.
Well, guys, they've accomplished their goal because not once on nearly 2 years of being a podcast have we ever mentioned Oklahoma outside of Watchmen.
True that.
How much do you think we can get for Oklahoma if we try to sell it?
Not very much.
It's like trying to sell Pokemon cards now. Ain't getting shit for them.
Cause I think we should really be looking out to trade for some things. Like Johannesburg, Africa is popping right now. I think that's an even trade. Oklahoma for Johannesburg. Johannesburg. It's popping right now.
Yeah, which means there's no need for Oklahoma.
Listen, if Elon didn't want to live there. It's very fun, isn't it?
Huh?
It's very fun, isn't it?
I don't know, but we need to bring the world leaders together and let's start gambling some things, man. Let's start gambling some cities, right?
But why?
We need to check it.
Why?
Hey, first of all, in our track record, we're going to lose.
When have we lost?
You want Joe rolling dice?
Huh?
You want Joe rolling dice?
That's right. God, dog, where's Trump at when we need him?
Listen. Listen. The moment Joe's sick and Kamal got them dice, go for it.
Whoa. Did y'all see the meme? Where
Sean playing Mahjong before you know it.
Y'all see the meme? Y'all know the meme of that dude that be always doing like this when he be looking at different things, and they say when Joe stepped Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Mr. Bigums is his name.
Licking his lips.
Shit. Next.
Pretoria. My bad.
Huh?
Pretoria.
What's that?
That's where Elon Musk was born.
Oh, Pretoria?
Yeah.
Africa?
South Africa.
South Africa?
South Africa.
He's Afrikaner?
Mm-hmm. This explains why he's so
He's
weird.
African American.
I swear to God.
Bro, why? Whites want that too, huh?
But he literally was born there.
You get it, African and American.
He's also Canadian, so he's African Canadian American.
Oh.
Citizenship in Canada.
This dude is just very interesting. He's some everything.
Yeah.
He's the world.
Oh.
Listen, let's not get too excited about elongated musket gun.
Elongated bus.
You ever see those things where they look up somebody's real name on the internet?
Is his real name elongated?
No.
Oh.
It's what is Elon Musk's real name? It says elongated musket gun. But Post Malone's is postpone my student loans.
I like that. What
is so and so's real name? And they just come up with ridiculous shit.
See, now I can't sleep now because I'm being. What you call it name? You gonna have me on here, man. I've already been having trouble. All right, so speaking of Snyder Cut, have y'all seen the new season of The Flash?
Nope.
Stop watching that.
Did you?
Yes, I've been watching.
I was waiting for you to say no.
But the elongated man is now off the show.
Well, yeah.
Because of all that happened. Yeah. Do y'all want to hear the interesting way they wrote him off?
Nope.
So I didn't. I was going to tell you anyways.
Go ahead. You want to tell us.
He comes into the Flash office all melty and disfigured. Mm-hmm. They literally put him in the lab and start working on him. They went through the whole episode. Then at the end of the episode, he came out in this costume suit. He couldn't talk, and all he was like, "All right, guys, me and this lady right here, we finna go on to a better life, and we're gonna leave this life alone and everything." And they're like, "Oh, bye." Literally, he walked away. It was literally the most disrespectful way to end someone.
Yep. Have you seen Fast and the Furious 7?
Well, what's wrong with that one?
That's the one with Paul Walker driving off.
What was wrong with that? I cried.
He left his family at the beach.
Huh?
He left his family and kids at the beach.
Yes, he went to heaven. What you think he gonna come back for his family?
He ain't gonna be there. That's crazy.
Now it's a podcast.
Paul, I like he can come back and get him. How, Paul?
Damn.
How?
He ain't gonna be a Fast and Furious 9.
I would have been fine with him killing him because he died in a stupid way. So anyways, Flash is whatever. We can move on from that. That WandaVision,
though. Fantastic. Divisive to a lot of people. I feel like that they stuck with their vision. They figured, no pun intended. They stuck with the idea that they wanted to go with. The whole show was about Wanda overcoming her grief and dealing with her grief. And they chose to end it that way. Probably one of the better moments, of course, being the showdown between the two visions. The white vision and the vision, the fake vision.
Yeah, I do love that while they set it up for a big laser battle and all this other shit, it just turns into one fight ends on a paradox or a philosophical conversation, and the other one ends on a trick, a ruse of runes.
Ruse of runes. Is that the next chapter of Game of Thrones? It'll come out in the next 3 years.
We'll start writing the first page in the next 3 years. Yeah, no, it was solid. I mean, I didn't watch the behind the scenes stuff they put out, but I was hearing a little bit from different content creators online, and I know there was a lot of stuff they wanted to do, but they couldn't because shit got shut down a bunch of times by COVID. Originally they were going to release actually the first 3 episodes together, but when things got delayed, they stalled it and just did the 2 episodes together. Like I said, I think that probably would have done very well because the first 3 episodes would definitely have a different feel than the rest of the series. The first 2 definitely, but the third, I think even the third one, still was that bridge between them. And I think if it would have been all 3 at one time, it probably would have gone over a lot easier. I think for a lot of people, so that's fine. I mean, like I said, I still enjoyed it. I'm able to take a step back and see what they're doing. Because again, it was a very different show. I like how it ended. Again, the only people that died didn't really exist.
And and left a villain out there in the world, albeit certainly restrained in a very interesting way. That could come back, and if nothing else, even if they don't explicitly come back, could serve as a important role in Wanda's life development. On top of all of it, set up a lot of good future stuff. Yeah,
especially with that spoilers with that a la Hulk cabin scene at the end.
Yeah. That was pretty dope. For a second there, I saw that and I was like, what is she, fucking Dr. Manhattan now? Then I kind of realized that was her astral form.
Yeah. And even with that, I don't know that she even knows, because I don't think Vision said what happened to the other Vision.
No. Well, and there's some debate as to whether or not he yeeted himself into the sun or whether or not he just went on a Vision quest.
Yeah, despite your pun, I will agree with you.
Well, it's one of his storylines in the comics.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Because it's a good character. It's a good character to have, especially now that he's been reboot and he's not tied to the Infinity Stones.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I like it's bringing character back in a unique way that isn't like a classic comic book way where it's like, oh, fuck you for common sense.
It's a total different person. Ship of Theseus.
Yes.
If the ship of Theseus sits in a museum, its planks are rotted and replaced over time, is it still the ship of Theseus? Or if its planks are reassembled, free of the rot, is that the ship of Theseus? So who is the real Vision? What is the existence of an android? Of an AI?
I would have agreed with you, but at the end, Vision unlocks his memories, so he has both.
Well, yeah, that was the thing that he meant. But even still, it's his body, and he has the memories. But is it really his mind? Like, are you defined by your memories, or are you defined by you having experienced them?
Hard to say. It depends what effect the memories have on you. Because again, he is, like I said, he was rebooted. He's a blank slate with another person's memories. So, assumably that won't. I don't know. It's very interesting how they're going to approach that. And I'm not trying to be a DC or Marvel stan, but it was good.
It was good. It was very good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Look forward to not just that storyline, but just like whatever else they're doing. Because they kind of flex their chops a bit there to show that they can do non-traditional storytelling. And it did, kind of boil down to a bit of a laser fight in the end. But it certainly was resolved differently.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the power of friendship or pushing stronger or anything like that. It was two people using their brains.
Yeah.
One of them who doesn't even have a brain.
Well, I said, and I think it was set up that way to fool you into thinking it was going to end in that way, and then I'm sorry to use the dirty word, subverts our expectations.
Yes. Well, I like how they referred to the double Vision laser fight as Vision giving himself head. Because the mic's done head beam.
I want to see a rehash of that fight on YouTube.
Yeah.
With the sound, with the music of Double Vision.
Feeling my eyes with that double vision.
It would make 4 people laugh. It'd be great.
Yes. 2 of them being right here.
As long as you have your core audience.
Or head games.
So, WandaVision.
Yeah.
To me, I said this before. WandaVision, it wasn't something that I was looking forward to. I was like, Marvel can't just continue to get these hits off like that. Mm. And in the beginning, it was, man, but it got progressively better, and it got progressively better fast.
Yeah.
To probably, out of all the series that's happened so far, and I love the last Daredevil season, but I think this WandaVision so far has been the best series out of the whole Marvel thing. And I love the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love all of
Defenders, that. I got it.
Defenders was cool. Defenders was cool.
You loved Iron Fist season 1, got it.
Which one was the bad one? Season 1, season 2?
Season 1 was the bad one.
Shame was it started off so well. That first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So fresh, so clean.
Yeah. It had some good parts. It just wasn't.
WandaVision.
But yeah, so to have a female-led show, it was. She did. What's her name? Olsen girl. Mm-hmm. She's
Lizzie
definitely
Olsen.
she's the best. She's definitely the best Olsen. Mm-hmm. The best Ocean too.
Sploosh.
But she's definitely the best. But her acting abilities.
Both of them.
Well, I'm not. Everybody in there. All of these Marvel shows, everything Marvel has done so far, the acting has been incredible.
She. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Man, I can stop hating
Captain Marvel.
I don't hate Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, I don't hate Agents.
That's day one every time. That's day one.
A lot of Doctor Strange, Thor 2. Anyways, you were saying?
No, but I thought she did an excellent job to lead that movie. I thought the bad girl, what's her name?
Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, I thought she did an excellent job as that character.
Mrs. Hahn.
Bro, when she flipped her off and like turned her mind, and she was like, "Hi, What could I like? That was
Hey,
acting. Bro. That is acting, bro.
Is it hot in here, or is it just you?
That is acting. I enjoyed it. The only disappointment I had in the whole season is when you find out at the end that the little fast dude Petros, like his backstory was a little sucky.
I love that because I think that was them just trolling the fans.
Boner.
I get that, Boner, yeah.
Yeah, and I get it, and I understand, and 100%. This show, for the people who didn't like the way it ended, I feel like
who didn't like the way it ended?
A lot of people.
Really?
But I feel like the big reason for it is because they built this thing up in their head of it being the way they're going to introduce the mutants. And there's going to be so many things. They're going to bring in Mephisto. But to be honest with you... They would
listen to your boy.
Well, that's the thing. To be honest with you, I feel like they told the exact story they wanted to tell. Like, I don't think they missed a beat. Like,
what's the dude on Facebook, on YouTube? What's his name? The one you don't like?
Emergency Awesome.
The Emergency Awesome. He was pushing that narrative.
But I don't think he's doing it for himself. I think he just...
I think he was just...
He's aggregating ideas.
Yeah. He's speaking what the people think.
Yeah.
It's the voice of the people.
So is Siri.
Y'all don't stop. Leave. I know us less valued men can't afford.
What? Were you about to say less valued men can't afford Android?
I was going to say Samsung.
Stop attacking us, green people. You blues have your own place.
Bro, if we got rid of racism, there's going to be bluism. Blue and red is blue and greenism.
Capitalism?
Oh, dude, that is.
That's not what I mean when I say I'm a capitalist.
No, that is, bro. No, I've been talking. No, dude, just last week I was talking to a girl on Tinder and she was like talking shit because she's like, "Oh, you have an Android?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm green. Leave me alone." Okay, yeah, cool. It's like, what? Should I just stop talking now? Should I just leave? Should I leave our non-existent chat room?
Got to go back to the AOL days. They didn't know nothing.
That's why they were asking questions. ASL.
No, but going back to I know we got the show to the end, but I really enjoyed everything about and I think one of the reasons that helped me was I had let about 4 episodes build up, so I watched the first 4 episodes at one time. So by the time I got to the episode where it was like, okay, the reveal, I was already like ready for the next episode. Now I could do weekly because it was getting good.
I feel like I've said it before, but I feel like this show would have been better as a binge series.
I definitely
I will agree right now because of the way the world is.
Yeah.
The biggest problem the show had, and again, why there's so much disappointment, quote unquote, is because there's nothing else to watch. So everybody's watching this and just thinking of theories to go on. Because again, they haven't had a Marvel movie in a year and a half.
Yeah.
2 years. Almost a year and a half. They haven't had anything in this universe in a very long time. So they think this is going to be like the start button, the new start button.
Blow everything the fuck over.
Right. So again, whether it's mutants or Doctor Strange or the multiverse, or they think this is going to be where everything's going to start from. And like, no, it always intended to be a small story. They had more things planned, but because of COVID, they couldn't do everything they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like I know Darcy had a lot more going on from her going from the outskirts to into town, and they planned actually a fight with the kids fighting the rabbit. But they just couldn't.
Scratchy.
Yeah, but they just couldn't do it because they ran out of COVID time.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
they were on COVID time.
But I mean, overall, I think it worked out. Like I say, I will agree that it hurt. It didn't affect me watching it on an episodic basis, but yeah, I think the average person, because they're expecting this big thing, it caused them to spend too much time theorizing, and that's what hurt their enjoyment of the series.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm hoping over time when there's more things going on and we get more Marvel movies and more other movies, DC maybe, they actually can go back and appreciate it for what it is. And again, it's not meant to be the best thing ever. It's not meant to be a world changer. It's just a story they wanted to tell for a character that needed a story to be told.
Mm-hmm.
See, y'all laughed at me when I said I'm blissfully ignorant. I enjoyed the series. I didn't know nothing about No Country.
Oh no, but again,
we were laughing together. No, so I didn't know nothing about all that. So guess what? I didn't have that in my mind. Guess what I got to see? A good series. Yep.
Next flex. What's that show? What'd you call it, D? The next show on Disney Plus?
The Falcon Soldier. The Winter Falcon.
Winter Falcon. I like how
Falcon Soldier. All right.
I like
both of them.
I love how the black man puts the black character second when he's originally first. The Winter Falcon.
See, now I ain't see, y'all about to give me count.
I'm aware of everything.
Hey,
I'm confident no black person listens to this podcast. Our Instagram, yes, they're all over our Instagram. all over the Instagram, but it's not tracking. It's not tracking on downloads.
Because I do be sharing it on my timeline, but them niggas don't respect me. I'm sorry, them dudes don't respect me.
Drive that ass.
So the Winter Falcon.
Do I go first, or y'all want to go first?
Go first.
Okay.
The Falcon Soldier.
To see this dude being Falcon.
Oh yeah,
he was Falcon.
Like proper.
Bro, he was Falcon. Bro,
he was Falcon it up.
Bro, he was in the air the whole time. That whole scene was like, y'all remember?
He was Falcon insane.
Do y'all remember Under Siege 2 when what's it called it died?
No,
it was an air fight like that. And it was, what's his name, the one that played the Under Siege one?
I remember Broken Arrow and Stealth. How about that?
What is the character from Under Siege?
Steven Seagal?
Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
He was Steven Seagal in the air.
No.
In Under Siege 2, he was Steven Seagal in the air. And he died the best I ever seen him die. The thing was falling apart. The airplane was falling apart, and he pushed the dude. He was like, "You're not gonna make it, but you will." And he pushed him up, and he died. I'm like, "That's how you die." But anyway, let's go back to the Falcon Soldier.
Falcon Soldier.
I fixed it.
You fixed it in post.
But bro, spoilers like a mother right now. Dude was
spoilers.
I don't know, but he was going from flying in the air, mid-air, took his stuff and turned it into a shield, and then went back to regular, and then turned it off to ride faster, beat people up, then fly up to the next nigga. Hey, bro, it was, I was like, this is amazing.
Using Red Wing, like, just like...
Bro, Red Wing. Red Wing was amazing, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Red Wing, get him. Get him. It was so good that it set a pace for me throughout the show. It set the show to a pace that when it calmed down, I needed that calm.
Yeah.
So go ahead. I don't want to.
Somebody put it really well. They said like he more or less has a a Iron Man upgrade.
Yes.
Like he kind of does.
Yes.
Like, it's kind of like not quite the nano suit.
Yeah.
You know, but it's very similar in functionality, and he's just that damn good with it. And like I love the bit where like. Red Wing is simultaneously like his attack drone, but also like his thruster, his booster, and like he gets damaged or whatever, and it starts like doing processing this, and he keeps going through the fight and doing that, and like the whole bit was that these people are taking a high value target.
No.
6 figures.
A 6-figure target.
Yeah. Over to this country that is non-friendly. And like they have to get them before they cross the airspace.
Yeah.
And like, they're like, you know, whatever he says, like 1,000 feet away, this and that away, yeah. You're like, okay, well, we got to come up with a new plan. He's like, I just did, because just as soon as he says that, the thing comes back online, and he fires his rocket and clips his wings and like flies through the middle of his helicopter that they're in and grabs the target.
That was
comes out the other side and then pops his wings back out and flies away. Just as these rockets that are fucking following him crash into the helicopter.
Yes, Lord. I was like, oh, that was good. It was so good, bro.
Betrock Zaliper. He jumps out of the the helicopter. That's the guy from Civil War.
Yeah.
The French guy who kept fighting Captain America and now he's fighting the Falcon. Falcon Soldier.
Editor note: he means from the Winter Soldier.
Guess what's it?
This is a high value man here. You better talk correct this.
I'm higher value.
Flex, time to have flex.
Flex.
Put some respect in my name.
But yeah, Paul, we set the bar high for you. You gotta come with it.
Dope first episode is a bit of a roller coaster. It starts off again, high octane opening scene.
Very good.
A fuck with you finale.
Yeah.
No, and I like the part because again, I came across a few TikToks and a few Instagrams are like, we're loving how like they addressed that very early that like, yeah, he's the Falcon, people recognize him, he's helped save the world, the universe.
He wasn't
can't
just
fucking
there.
get alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like again, it's
love that.
great. It's a great. I mean, just it's a great message that again, like if you know that what a lot of normal soldiers go through.
Yeah.
That despite everything they go through, and they come back with the trauma, and they still can't just get the help they need to take care of their basic necessities.
The best thing about that part is he was geeking over him, but he was like,
Yeah, and Sam's playing. Sam's playing up. You know, going along with it. You know, he's playing the role of the hero. He's playing the role of the figure. And the dude's like, "Nah, fam." It's like you haven't worked you don't have anything for. Yeah, I was blipped.
Like you haven't worked in 5 years, and he's like, "I was blipped."
I haven't existed.
Yes. You can't work if you. It's what his sister says. You know, you can't work if you didn't exist.
Yeah, fucking solid. I just, I mean,
it's kind of crazy though, like that for as much of the world that it seems to have changed post blip, that they would keep things like that. That for a loan, you would have to have, proof of employment and stuff like that over 5 years. And it's like, okay, you could easily look into that because this person would have been filed as missing. This person would have been, filed as found after 5 years. And it's like, and can pinpoint the reason. Why would that be held against them by a bank?
Well, I think exactly the reason is because there's a lot of people coming back and they just don't want to. Again, a bank's job is to not give out money.
Yeah. You're right.
So that's another reason that in their books, without changing any rules, you don't have work history for 5 years. Doesn't matter if you didn't exist.
But then
it's another reason why you not give money out. And because they're black.
No, I think there's also an undertone where they're trying to set where they don't like the people that came back. They thought it was great when the people was gone.
Well, with the flag smashers.
That's what I'm saying. It seems like they're trying to set that as an undertone.
And I don't know if it's just the fact that the people who were gone, but just the fact that they think that, like, okay, it was better with fewer people.
Yeah, with fewer people.
Yeah. And now
Thanos got
back. Yeah.
Could be.
So you suppose that maybe, possibly, the Flag Smashers are going to be set forth as a very conservative group?
Ooh, they picking at me.
I would bloody well hope so.
They picking at me now.
I don't know. Again, so little is known about them at this point, other than just like they have a super in their group.
Yeah. Very interesting that they've chosen to turn the Flag Smashers into a group.
I think, I heard a theory crap on it, and I like that. I like that they took it from a dude to a group.
Yeah. Like, especially in the context.
Give them a little bit of context about it. That. BAD. My BAD.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
That's coming off hemorrhoids, too.
Well, good Lord.
Putting yourself on blast, huh?
Flag Smashers has been a fairly consistent Captain America villain. It hasn't hit me yesterday. But long story short, he kind of shared a similar version of his of the ethics of saying that, like, there should be no flags, there should be no borders, et cetera, but for negative reasons. And they're approaching it basically like this group represents the same thing.
Yeah. Destroy
the borders, make us all one nation under nothing, apparently. And that the people who came back are a threat to that because they want to, they weren't there for why it was quote unquote better, which is really ultimately in direct contrast to Hayward from WandaVision, who says, you don't know how bad it was.
Yeah.
Like,
Wanda wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, and because so many people weren't there. Yeah, basically, the systems of government failed, and you know, even like you see, they're doing such a good job with this. But they really are. Like,
but I'm over here thinking because I'm looking at the housing market. I'm trying to get into the housing market. You know how awesome it would be right now
if just half the people disappeared.
Buffet, baby.
But would that increase or decrease value?
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping to decrease it.
I guess because there's,
but now what if I bought somebody's house and they came back?
That's the other thing. Oh, that's a big thing right there. They haven't really touched on it yet. But like, yeah, that's a subject that they have. Like, there's
taken.
A lot of yes. There's a lot of theory crafting around that too. What happens when people come back?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, they touched on it a bit with Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
Like it was like, okay, when she left, her mom was alive and beating the cancer, and when she comes back, her mom's gone.
Mm.
It's the inverse.
Yeah.
And good God, like if they're actually kind of approaching this series as the inverse of WandaVision, that's going to be kind of crazy good. Like
Ryan over here turned red.
Like I'm thinking about a lot of the like. I'm not upset about the theory crafting for WandaVision that didn't happen, that didn't pan out. I kind of like what potentially they could be going for.
Yeah.
And the way that they can paint this picture of both sides of the world, people who came back and lost everything versus people who maybe came back and want to gain more, or people who are here and gained more.
What if they came back with mutant powers?
People who, well, that's the other thing. Like, and that's
like, cause now she was like, they're trying to say she's a mutant. The Rambeau,
her DNA was altered,
and then,
but that was from going through the hex.
But then Wanda too.
Wanda's always been a mutant, though. So they're saying that mutants have always existed, subtly.
Yeah.
They say that when she was young and the bomb from the Stark bomb up in her house, that she used a probability hex to alter the likelihood of it going off.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know magic, so she just genetically can perform magic. Yeah.
I don't know if magic was in my blood. That'd be a good time for it to come out. Yeah. With a bomb face to face.
Yeah. That'd be a great one. And that's how they set a lot of the mutants up in the Marvel Comics universe, is that they face some kind of trauma, and that's when their abilities manifest. They've always had them, but they never ever had to use them until they were threatened.
Yeah, a lot of that happened with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they went with Inhumans, where they had to be Terrigen misted.
Yeah, but with some of them that was mutant, though. Some of them were mutant based.
They couldn't use mutants.
Okay, wait, now I'm partly wrong there.
There was a lot of the Inhumans. So
I thought it was mutant based. I don't know, maybe.
So, we all agree. We love Marvel. We love everything that they put out.
Everything.
Except the Dark World. And I'm not a big fan of Iron Man 3 or 2. On to the redheaded stepchild of the comic book movie universe. DC. And beyond that, onto event of a lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, this is cinema will be discussed from now on. Cinema will be discussed from now on, pre-Snyder Cut and post-Snyder Cut. That's just how it is. We have no choice in it.
You laugh, but I believe 100% that is actually going to have that kind of impact.
Well, I think, okay, to go off topic for a short moment, this will open the door for a lot more people to do this quote-unquote recut of their other movies. So before we get started, I will say a few numbers. One, in numerous interviews, Snyder has said that they only shot one new scene for this film. Only one new scene was shot during all these reshoots.
That's gotta be capping.
However, there were over 2,000 new
effect shots,
yeah,
CGI, etc., etc.
which seems low for a 4-hour movie, but yeah, I mean, again, even small things were tweaked where it's like they just chose like different cuts where like like the small scene where like the janitor gets taken by the parademon. Mm-hmm. In the Snyder Cut, he's like plain faced. In the Snyder Cut, he's like scared. So just weird things like that, where it's like they clearly had multiple cuts. They had multiple. They did 1,000 different. He had. He must have had 1,000 hours of fucking film, or whatever fucking like footage available, and he just tweaked and tweaked and tweaked for 3 or 4 years. I'm sure he was working on this on his own, like without anybody asking, just fucking waiting for his fucking moment to shine.
I thought that there was the fans asked for this.
There are some people who
I thought there was
there was a don't conflate that with like anything, because like it's the internet, and hashtag release the Snyder Cut could have occurred under any circumstances. Some of them, I'm sure, were intended to be ironic. Were intended to be like, oh, release the Snyder Cut.
But I thought
we are 100% guilty of that.
I thought it was a petition asking for this.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure at some point there was. I mean, it's
1,000 signatures.
It started off with I want to say, wasn't Jason Momoa the first one to say that there's a Snyder Cut of this that fucking rocks or something like that? Something very very bro-lated.
I think there was a bit from him, but what they said, it was Kieran Hines, who is the actor who played, quote unquote, Steppenwolf. He was one of the first actors to step out and be like, this is not the film that Zach made, et cetera, et cetera. So
now that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's even the actors was like, yo, this ain't what we wanted.
Should we touch on that right now?
Sure.
I think every single one of us can be in agreement. What was released was not the film that we saw. Yeah. It was a completely different film.
This is different.
It was, coherent. It was, I'm not going to, and we'll touch on that one later. I'm not going to say good, but it was certainly more watchable. It was actually something that you could follow, a narrative you could follow. It was more entertaining, even though it was 4 hours long. And it certainly set up a better story with like the potential for more. Whereas, like, I feel like the end of the original theatrical cut was maybe sequel baity at best, and not like, opening storylines.
Well, yeah, all it was, hey, the six are together now. Well, what's next? Mm-hmm. And again, looking back, and again, to add more things to it, because I mean, there's still more things I want to throw out there. Mm-hmm. Obviously, one, it's well known at this point, the studio had a mandate of no more than 2 hours. Yeah. Mm. So Snyder had a very long story he wanted to tell that took more than 2 hours. Him being given this opportunity is why he said, "Fuck it, I'm going 4 hours." Basically, releasing most of the scenes he filmed, at least that were that made sense together. And Joss is, from even just a casual movie watcher, a very different filmmaker than Zack Snyder. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't make sense to put those two to make a movie together. Mm-hmm. That would be like having David Fincher start from filming a movie and then you have Steven Spielberg finish it. It makes no goddamn sense. Like, yeah, they're both big names, but they don't make the same kind of movies. Yeah.
Steven Spielberg.
Not at all like him.
But I'm saying, Steven Spielberg making the movie, that would be different.
Yeah.
Well, of course. I mean, I'm just saying, somebody who Zach is like
dinosaurs and stuff.
Zach, no matter what he's doing, he makes movies the same way. And another fact that also I was curious about that I finally found out: how much of this film do you think was in slow motion?
I know the answer. Thank you, IGN.
5%.
More than that. More than 5%.
I don't know. That was my guess.
Double.
2%?
10%. Just did the math. If you took out all the CG, it would be 3.6 hours.
All the CG?
I'm sorry, not LCD.
Slow motion.
Yeah, slow.
Yeah, 24 minutes and 7 seconds. Most of the opening is slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
That long, drawn out screen pulse across the world.
That was like
slow motion. And like every time Flash is involved, it's a slow motion.
That's the only thing I would like. Only Flash scenes. So I gotta go back and watch
Flash, Wonder Woman, half the Superman stuff.
The Amazon assault.
A lot of that stuff too.
Like almost the entire thing was in slow motion. Completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
now I'm gonna tell you what was crazy. That whole every time they had the Amazonian, they had played this female. At first, I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Every time they played this dumb. By the time, I'm like, stop!
This movie, there was no reason for this movie to be 4 hours long.
This movie was unfiltered Snyder, for better or worse. So if you love Snyder, your fucking dick's hard. If you can't stand him, your dick's hard.
For a different reason. Dick is angry hard.
Anyways, Ryan, you want to give your thoughts more on the kind of overall, just some highlights from yourself?
So, I'll reiterate. This film is legitimately 1,000 times better. But that's from a very, very, very low bar.
Yep.
1,000 times half is only 500.
I think 1,000 is
and I didn't
being very generous.
I didn't love it 3,000. Yes, it's an exaggeration. It certainly is, it's hard to compare. Again, because the original was just so bad, such a mess, that like when you see a film that is coherent, despite being 4 hours long.
Well, and that's why I want to talk about it, how it was just on its own. Yep. Ignoring the first one, because we clearly know there's no argument that it's better than the first one. Yep. All of us can agree, whether you love or hate the movie, you can agree it's better than the first one.
Yeah.
It makes more sense. Like, again, there are...
Characters get more fleshed out.
Yeah.
Like, 100% they do. Like, the Flash and Cyborg are much better.
Yep.
I feel like Wonder Woman almost got worse. And Aquaman got weird. Stayed about the same. But a guy I watched on YouTube, Movie Bob, put it very well. He said Aquaman was more or less one-dimensional because if you allow Jason Momoa to exude any amount of charisma, he immediately overshadows everyone else on screen.
Yep.
Well, okay, but also you gotta look at his character from this lens right here. There's a Aquaman movie now. A lot of the fight that he had with like I don't want to be the king and all that. That movie, if that movie didn't happen, it would have been making more sense. Like he'll do that found out he don't want to be a king.
I believe that the Aquaman movie takes place after Justice League.
No, but what I'm saying is we've seen the Aquaman movie already, and that may have like taken that because the whole thing with him was, I just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
By humans, and by what they call it, and that would and if you look at the eyes of that movie not being out, you can say, well, yeah, there was a lot more to him. In this one, more than the other one.
We're saying the movie gave him more backstory.
Yeah,
I suppose, but I still feel that inside the movie they didn't really let his character.
Well, no, what I'm saying is the movie put him in the light differently than what this is. This would have put him in the light pre-movie that the movie would have fleshed out more. But since the movie is already out, you're kind of looking at a character that's been fleshed out, kind of like before he was fleshed out.
Right, but I still, and that's fine that they wanted to set that up at the time, but that's not really affecting my opinion, to be honest with you. I just don't think they did much to him, and I don't think they did the same thing in the Whedon cut, where like they didn't give him much character, with the exception of like the few jokey bits that he did. Guy dressed like a bat, I can dig it, and the scene with the lasso.
That was funny.
Yeah, but like that's the character. That's the character moments they gave him in the Whedon cut, which weren't in the Snyder cut. I don't think.
But when he was fighting Steppenwolf underwater, before he started fighting Steppenwolf, and he was talking to that chick. Mm-hmm. Remember, she was like, "Oh, well, you're the king now. You need help defend." Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
No, because Orin was the king.
That was all in the first movie.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but in this movie right here, when they was fighting, when she was talking to him underwater, and she was trying to plead with him to come home or whatever, she was like, I know your mother. You don't know anything of your mother to talk about her like that. I know the queen. And then he came in, and I guess he fought Stephen with underwater.
Yeah.
So I thought that show. I don't know. I can't explain to exactly right now what I'm trying to say. I can't put in words right now what I'm trying to say. Once I get my thoughts together, I'll be able to explain it. But I just thought that if the Aquaman movie wasn't out yet, it's some part of this movie that you would have seen Jason Momoa is different, or either Aquaman is different.
I saw him about the same.
Yeah.
It didn't change for me. What changed for me, because again, okay, so we're looking at, there's probably 3 major scenes that are different in this film. Well, 4. But as far as regarding the Aquaman, one where the extended translation interview, interrogation at the pub.
Yeah.
Before Batman lets him know that he understands them.
Yeah.
That scene, which was, I think, was played very well. And again, where Superman shows off his superpower.
Aquaman. Aquaman.
No, Batman.
Oh,
Money.
Batman. Okay, you said Superman.
No, whatever, same thing.
Pretty much.
He's more human than I am.
So that scene there, which played pretty well, before he runs into the ocean, some girl smells his sweater.
Sing him a creepy song.
I was just going to say, she sung him a song
like
too.
a legitimate, again, no reason for this movie to be 4 hours long, but a legitimate, 2.5 minute song.
Wait, you said this movie is 3 hours and 50 minutes? Let's put some singing into it.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, they're singing a weird like hymn while he's jumping into the ocean, while she smells his sweater that has to smell disgusting. That motherfucker don't shower.
Well,
Be honest.
He lives in the ocean. He don't got to shower. He showers in the ocean.
Right, the sweater's gonna smell though.
That's true.
Bad.
You know,
Be honest. Don't lie. If Jason Momoa left his sweater behind, would you smell it?
We ain't talking about Jason Momoa.
Don't
talking about
dodge
Arthur
the question.
Curry. We talking about Arthur Curry. 2.
Arthur.
2. The removal of the lasso scene, which is a big chunk of a big monologue for him, really showing who he is as a person. Which I understand why they took it out. I kind of wish they would have kept a little bit of that in. Not only because we were writing a skit based on that, but 3. The weird scene where they expand on the excavation of Superman's grave, where the 2 characters known for super strength are not the ones helping to dig the grave up.
And the one who's known for super speed isn't using that at all.
Well, here's the thing. I acknowledge that because they do acknowledge it without saying it directly.
Do you suppose that's the one that he reshot?
Well, to be fair, though,
Yeah.
to be fair, what you kind of got super strength?
He does. I'm not saying he doesn't, but he's not known for super strength.
Cyborg.
Yeah.
He's not known for super strength. The other 2 are. The other 2 could have just done a quick hand in the grave, pulled up a mountain, a boulder full of dirt, and gotten it. But
they want to show them bonding. Make the movie longer.
It's fine. And then them talking about the Atlanteans and the Amazon. Sure, it's fine. But then it's just weird. You're seeing these 4 superheroes just standing over a fucking coffin. Mm-hmm. For me, this entire movie, the weirdest part about it is that it was so fucking sad. Yeah. From start to finish, I wanted to slit my wrists. Which is weird because I felt nothing during this whole movie until the very end, which we'll get to. I didn't feel anything until the next to last scene. Mm-hmm. And I felt pure bliss followed by instant rage at the very end of the movie. I felt nothing the rest of the movie. I'm like, it was just boring. It was just long. And again, even the small changes, like when Aquaman is jumping into the ocean, in the original version, they're playing a song by the White Stripes. Yeah. Really rocky, kind of fast-paced song. In this one, it's a fucking another hymnal song. It's another very somber, tonal song. And I'm like, ugh. It's just nothing but fucking like ominous tones and fucking like somber beats.
I didn't get that from this movie, the sadness.
And that whole scene.
Were you listening to it?
I was watching it.
This whole
scene.
Not
listening to it. Okay.
This whole scene that you're talking about, like, is completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't serve any purpose. It's after they've already introduced Aquaman. It's after they've already shown the scene with Bruce and him, going back and forth, and him kind of being like, "Oh, I help the people, but I also don't want any attention." Yada yada yada. And like, there's just this scene where there's a ship on the ocean getting tossed about in the storm, and the guy like falls off or whatever, and Arthur goes in and saves him and brings him back to this tavern at the wharf or whatever, where all the other sailors are sitting there and waiting out the storm, and just drops off the guy on the table and whiskey. I think he said whiskey.
It's on him.
And he goes, "Yeah, it's on him."
Well, and the funny
part, like a bat. I can dig it.
Well, and the funny thing is, like that scene played a role in the original film.
Mm-hmm.
In the original, he was being attacked by a parademon, and when he drinks it, he fucking realizes he has fucking like green blood on him. So that gets him thinking. But there's nothing. It's just a guy whose boat's capsizing.
Yeah.
And then he goes back into the ocean for no reason.
Well, I guess they wanted to show him as like a savior of humans in the water.
Did that.
Again, it's fine. It is what it is. I think at this point, really, it was almost as much of him wanting to change things, just different from Justice League, as much as possible. And again, that's why basically I feel like while there's probably scenes left over, I think he put as much as he physically could into this film.
Yeah.
He was given carte blanche to just do whatever he wanted, and he went fucking hog wild. I started rewatching this movie. I got about 20 minutes in. I got 2/3 of a page of questions and notes. I'll go over them because I find them hilarious.
Okay. Before you go into that, I just want to say what you were just talking about there, with him clearly putting the effort in it, as a feat of an artist, if you want to call him that, as a feat of if nothing else, of a man with a vision, calling back to one vision. Who wanted to make these changes, whether it was foresight or whether it was hindsight or whatever. He absolutely put in the work. Yep. He absolutely did what he accomplished. He accomplished what he set out to do. Was it any good? We'll get to that. Notes?
So here are my notes that I wrote down. And again, this only goes as far as... I'll get to it. A question. Why didn't he just use a bat plane? He rides a horse to that village for a while. Long enough where with the first time we see him, he's putting out a fire. So that means he was riding long enough that he needed a fire to get warm or to eat. Or to drink water or something. He has a 747 waiting for him. Why doesn't he just fucking fly over there? Like, why he has? You're telling me Batman doesn't have the technology to get to a city?
Why did he wait to flex his power till after he already went through all these situations, which he could have used his power to circumvent?
Yeah. Well, how much time did he waste?
Two things that I don't want to sound like
money.
I don't want to sound like I'm trying to defend this movie. That's why I'm not going to have much to say about the movie. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really excellent. But when in Rome, you do what the Romans do. I think when in Rome, you do what the Romans do. I don't think he wanted to like take a plane. I think he wanted to do how people would get there. Maybe he wanted to be less seen or less. I think he figured if he would have came in with all that, maybe Arthur Curry would have ran and disappeared.
I'm not saying fly into the village because there's nowhere to land. Fly to the mountain nearby.
I'm just saying, this is what I think. Maybe other people nearby.
But honestly, that plays into another problem I had, which I didn't have in my notes, but I talked to you about this earlier. Batman's main superpower, besides being rich, is always having a plan for everything. Mm-hmm. He has a plan for nothing in this movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a plan to get there. And again, he knows the world is possibly on the brink of destruction.
Yep.
And he's fucking horseback riding to this fucking city. And he's walking the horse for half of it as we're watching it.
I would counter your point about when in Rome, do as the Romans. He's Batman. When in Rome, he buys the Romans. What's wrong?
Well, like I said, that's my thing. Then the second theory is maybe he wanted to work out. Maybe he wanted to maybe because
maybe
he didn't have a tire.
What I'm saying is the Batman character. That's the part. It's his mythos. Is he's a workout warrior. He loves to be physical.
It's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
But like the entire film, the only time he won,
like I said, I don't want to feel like I'm trying. I don't want to argue over this thing.
It's not about arguing.
I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah.
So the only time Batman brings something that you're like, why would you even have this? Is when he has Alfred make those fucking special bracers.
Yeah.
Where he's able to deflect fucking laser beams.
That was kind of cool.
That's the only time where he's like, yeah, only Batman would fucking think of that. Like every other time, he's just running around with a grappling gun, and he doesn't even fucking use any batarangs.
But see, then
he just steals guns from the parademons.
He uses it from on Flash.
Bruce Wayne used it, not Batman.
His alter ego.
Good.
And he used it knowing he wasn't going to get hit. Why did she sniff his sweater? I already said that one. Okay, so why is there still a Superman banner on that bridge in London? It's a year after he died? And when he died, he was a controversial figure. You had people thinking of him as the second coming of Jesus, and other ones who thought he was the source of all the problems.
Well, the story they would have got, though, the world would have got was he stopped the whatever that was, the monster thing.
Doomsday.
Oh,
Doomsday.
Listen, I'm living in a post Alex Jones world. What the story would have gone around the world was Superman stopped another Kryptonian monster from destroying the planet on a ship that he came on.
We can't see. We wouldn't be able to see
that. Would have been out there. You kidding me? This fucking QAnon shit?
But would that have been the main thing that's out there? Of course, that would not have been the main thing. That would have been there, just like the QAnon. But QAnon is not that big of a deal when you go look at the worldwide.
But why is that banner?
As a believer in the government.
But why is the banner still there?
American government.
But why is the banner?
We're talking about the world. Ain't no QAnon believer in the world government that we know of.
But why is the banner still there?
A lot of credit to world government.
But why is the banner still there?
You know, people believe
they see him as a hero.
It's been like a year.
Invented the hamburger.
Next question. If the goal of those terrorists, the eco-terrorists, were to kill everybody, why the long timer?
I don't know.
No reason. They wanted no demands. They just wanted to kill everybody in a four block radius. But they had a 20 to 50 second timer on it.
Maybe that's the best.
I forget how long because it was in a slow mo.
Yeah. Maybe that's the best they can do.
Except for the part where they wanted to show off Wonder Woman's speed, where she was super speedy, and then
she's flash speed.
Yeah,
and she's just deflecting bullets like nothing.
Yeah.
The entire movie, everything's so muted and saturated. That's not a question. That's just a observation. It's really muted and saturated. At times it's hard to tell who's who. Mm-hmm. And again, unless you watch Aquaman, you don't even realize that Mera has red hair. Her hair is blonde in most times.
The only person who's not saturated is New Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
He's Steppenwolf. Who dis?
So I'm glad they fixed that ability of Wonder Woman being able to fly in that one scene where she flies real quick, throws it up there, and just falls back. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, fixed. Problem solved. Nailed it. So she can deflect automatic fire. So how does she ever get hit or take damage? She's blocking an Uzi or an automatic rifle within 10 feet. The guy's 10, 12 feet away.
Yeah.
He's blocking it like nobody's while gliding and sliding and spinning around. How does she ever get hit?
She has soap shoes.
She has to be faster than anything Steppenwolf can do. It's just weird. And I get it. It's fine. It's a movie. It's a whatever, man. It's a cool scene. It just doesn't play anywhere else. Whatever. That's fine. I'm being nitpicky. She killed that guy.
Easily.
She does her bangle explosion. To when she easily could have just just run over there and broken his gun.
Yep.
And quick little judo chop to his shoulder and knock him out. She killed that guy because again the building exploded out towards the cops. There's no way he didn't die. That's just weird. It's just weird, right? Like, she didn't need to kill him.
Diana, you want to probably go somewhere safe.
That was a fun kill at that
for
point.
A few days because you're probably...
That was a fun kill. Like, that was an unnecessary kill.
But see, y'all looking at this movie from a standpoint of being comfortable. You don't know what you would do in that situation. If you was Wonder Woman,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
If I was an invincible Amazon warrior with the speed of light on my side, would I kill a man just by being like,
I don't
clank my bangles together?
I don't know. That doesn't make me imperfect for making mistakes, though.
It's fine. Again,
so I don't want to I'm defending this movie.
It made me think again, especially because I think out of her, she has the most experience out of all of them. She's been fighting and superhero for 5,000 years. Like, she's been training to be a warrior.
Really been fighting 5,000 years, but she's been around 5,000 years.
She's been training for 5,000 years. She's been actively superheroing behind the scenes. It seems like on and off for the last 30 years since 84. Pre-84, she was already doing it in the 84 movie. Anyways, whatever.
If she was going around since the first Wonder Woman movie, she'd be almost 100 years.
Yeah, it's just every other person she Johnny Cage shadow push to knock out. But again, I get it. They want to do the Bengal thing because it's cool to see. Fine. What was the point of sealing that building on Themyscira where the mother box was when there was a sunroof? Like, there's light shining in. There's bright light shining in. What's the point of sealing it?
But I would assume that got sealed too. Wouldn't you think that?
No.
But then, because it seemed like they was considered like a box, and they were trying to drop it into either the earth or the sea or something like that.
I guess
you're gonna take that with your mama's titties, put it in the box, and drop that bitch in the ocean.
I guess the bigger plan, because I guess the bigger plan was just that, because like from knocking down the fucking the doors, the walls or whatever, that caused the cliff to collapse over.
I suppose so.
So that was like their main plan, was just to like trap them in there and confuse them long enough for him to get underwater. Okay, sure. It looked really weird.
I posit another theory.
I would think that would close.
I think that they did it just to give Zack Snyder a boner.
Zack Snyder did it to give himself a boner.
I'm sorry. A slow-mo boner. A sloner, if you will.
So, okay, here's my last point on most of this stuff. It's weird. Okay, so they made a concerted effort to involve Darkseid in this version.
Sure they did.
They made a concerted effort to make him seem ominous and crazy, strong, and like look like a badass. So when they made the intentional choice to change Steppenwolf to Darkseid in that past scene where he's fighting all the people of Earth and the Green Lantern, okay, so Darkseid's the one doing it, or whatever his name is. What?
I thought that scene was cool.
Oh, it is cool. But here's the problem it creates. So he beats whatever his name is before he's Darkseid. Whatever, he beats the new god.
Uxas.
He beats Uxas. Beats him. He gets one axe to the chest, which, okay, it's an axe from a god. I get that. That's fine.
We learned from the past you have to go for that.
So his people pulled him away. His soldiers pulled him away, left. There was several ships that left. Because, again, like the Amazons and the Earth and the gods didn't destroy all the ships, right? So there's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. A lot of people, a lot of creatures left that planet. Assumably, if Desaad isn't there, at least he had some generals with him. Yeah. He has a spaceship, which I assume has a computer.
Well, I thought that like the whole thing was that as they were trying to do what's it called when the mother boxes fuse convergence?
The Unity.
Unity. I thought those were other Desaads, and they like kept killing them. I
don't know that part, but so he does the thing, sees the anti-life equation. Yeah. Okay. So the one thing he wants in life is there. He has the power. He has the forces. There's several spaceships with computers, and I would assume some form of navigational capabilities. Yeah. they forget where the fuck Earth is.
Well, maybe the computers got damaged in the war. Maybe the ships got damaged in the war.
He forgot what planet he went to?
I mean, he had an axe in the chest when he left.
Not in his head. It makes him like look weird. Like if they kept it as Steppenwolf, I would have loved because it would make sense.
I got that. Yeah,
it would make sense that Steppenwolf would forget what planet he went to because he's so enraged and again, like I guess same what we said.
Y'all sound like niggas they never got beat up.
Or
I done got beat up sometimes. I don't know.
I remember what city I got beat up in.
No, I wouldn't. Sometimes you get whooped so big.
Lying ass bitch.
Bro, sometimes you get whooped so big you forgot what you were fighting at.
I don't get beat up.
It was like Sam, I thought we was at Walmart. Nah, man, you was at the club. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. I don't know, man.
I bet you remember what city it was, though.
I'm not finna defend this.
I bet you remember what state it was, though.
I get, like, if it was Steppenwolf, if they would have kept that, I could understand him maybe even just not knowing what the anti-life equation was. And then maybe, like, that is his realization.
Darkseid got whooped up so bad, bro.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, Darkseid is not that guy. Like, Darkseid, like, Superman struggles to defeat Darkseid.
Like, that's kind of like one of the big things about Darkseid. Like the big build-up to him was that all of his rage and anger towards Earth and towards Superman is because he's the only person to stand in his way.
Yep. Everyone else falls before Darkseid. Even Batman falls before Darkseid. Except for
that one time he didn't. Okay, so I think D's get ready to go. So let's say real quick, what was your favorite part? What was your most frustrating part?
My favorite part would probably be the Superman fight scene. I love how they extended it and it made it like it looked like something that was like, yo, that's how that would have went down. I know Superman is super strong. But we've taken away from these characters in the first movie. In that first movie, it was like he beat him too quick. I think these are certified heroes. These are certified strong people. So that was one how they extended that. My favorite part about this movie is how they extended everything, how they explained everything. That would be my favorite part. The part there's not a lot of parts in this movie that I didn't care for. I don't know, man. When Flash saves Iris, did she not see him?
I think that was intentionally left to be like, did she or didn't she?
Yeah.
And for that matter, like, did the lady who was interviewing not see him?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that part.
If there was enough time for her to see him, like, I mean...
the way they make his power is almost like he disappears.
I mean, that's how it would appear to everybody else.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, like, maybe that was from his angle, from his very sped up mind that he was looking at her. And it was happening, like, so fast, like a light going across my eyes. But that light going across my eyes can see the whole real of me where I can barely see anything.
Listen. That was a very suggestive hot dog.
Oh no! That's the only part I was thinking. Like,
he was checking her out, and the hot dog came up, and he put it away. He's like, later.
But
put the dick down.
I like how the father died. I thought that was pretty good.
The father?
Yeah, I like that he died.
It was
sacrificed himself.
That worked. That absolutely worked. At the time when I was immediately seeing it, I didn't, and then I didn't think it worked. And then when they explained it, I was like, okay, they actually bothered to set this up. This makes sense now.
Yeah. So I enjoyed this movie. I watched it at my job. It was 7:00.
It was more enjoyable than the first one.
It was a slow shift, and I started the movie at 7. I didn't finish.
Finished it at 3:30.
I started the movie at 7 p.m. And because I was pausing it to get cars or whatever, 11 o'clock, I was only like 3 hours into the movie. But I went to my other job and I finished it there. But when I was watching this movie, I was like 2 hours in. I was like, oh, it's 2 hours more to go. This is so cool. Like, I was like looking forward to that whole thing. I don't believe that this would have been a movie that was this successful in the theaters. So if they would have did this, I don't think this movie right here versus the other movie, if they did this movie over the other movie, I don't think it would have been successful because nobody's going to sit in the theaters for 4 hours and watch this movie. I think it only worked because of the way the HBO Plus. I think that's one of the reasons why it works.
I think it would have been successful in the theaters if they would have bothered to manage like the time of it.
But I'm saying
you could have cut probably 2 hours from this movie easily, at least an hour.
But I mean, but me
Like-
personally, I loved the 4 hours. So I mean, that's why.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Here's the thing.
Or did you love the 4 hours because you didn't watch it all in one sitting?
I think with this
like
film,
all the information that I got out of it, everything.
I think with this film, you
Blissfully
can.
ignorant.
Did you sit down for 4 hours and watch it?
Yes, I went from 7 to 11, then I went to my other job and finished it.
You stopped in between to like checking cars and stuff. If you had to sit down for 4 hours,
my main focus was still on this thing, though.
but if you had to sit down,
Okay, I'm not
for
gonna argue with it, but
I want to
pretty much watch this all at one time.
If you had to sit down for 4 hours straight and watch this movie, would you have enjoyed it?
Not in the theaters.
Okay.
I
or
would
at home.
I would have enjoyed it at home because I would have been comfortable. I would have been able to put my feet up. I'd have been able to do this.
I need you in the theaters now.
Yeah, but
ain't nobody in the theaters. You can do that.
I would have been naked.
Ain't nobody in the theaters. You can do that.
Well, we're talking about then. We're talking about the theaters now. I'm talking about the theaters.
Yeah, I suppose 2017.
Yeah.
All right, you.
I am decidedly more positive on it than one would believe. There's a lot of it that I just don't see the point of. I 100% think that this movie could have been cut to 2.5 to 3 hours without a problem, and you still would have gotten the message. If nothing else, just from scenes like the Flash scene with Iris, where like it's perfectly acceptable scene, it was fine, but it was like probably a good 5 or 10 minutes of a scene that could have been cut to like 2 or 3 without losing any impact. It feels like they almost did it that long just so that they could play the majority of the song that they had. I'm going to change my thoughts on Zack Snyder as a director. He's no longer, yeah, but what if? He's now, yeah, but what if?
Slow motion. He's now Zack Snyder.
Favorite part?
Favorite part? Honestly, the ending. Like not like the general ending and all that other shit that came in the epilogues. I really enjoyed the Flash thing. Like, I legitimately did enjoy that bit. We didn't even touch on it really in our general discussion. I don't know if that's what you want to talk about. If you do, speak up now, and I'll just pass it off to you.
It's not mine.
Okay. The ending is basically the mother box is doing the convergence or whatever they call it, Unity.
Yeah, just go for the new stuff.
Yeah. Unity. Cyborg is trying to stop it, but he needs the Flash to do the power thingy that he did from the reanimation chamber, and a bunch of stuff happens. He can't quite do it. He fails, and the Unity happens, and it starts destroying everybody. And the Flash sees it with his, Flash mind, and he says, "Okay, Barry, time to break your one rule. Got to go faster than the speed of light." And basically, he runs as fast as he can and breaks the speed of light, and he starts reversing time in general direction. And he's just going. And then everybody starts reassembling from when they were blown apart by the Unity. And, he just comes up to the exact moment that Cyborg needs him to touch the Unity or the mother boxes and send the power of the Speed Force through it and fix everything, and he does it. And it's like, it was after all these other things are happening with all the other Justice League members, and he, being like the youngest, most inexperienced, goofiest member of it, kind of finishes off the thing. And I think they did a great job of actually making it a team effort.
But they kind of pre-showed that in the Superman part when they were in front of Dad. Like, the box started.
That's what I mean. Like, they did a better job of that. They explained that.
Yeah.
Like, in the original series, it was just like, oh, well, I run fast and I make lightning and I'm going to give you a charge.
Yeah.
They bothered to be like, all right, when I run close to the speed of light, time gets weird.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, okay, I generate quantum energy.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to explain stuff when you have 4 hours to do it.
Yeah. And they didn't even need to do it that long ago. Like, that's the...
Yeah, I think 3 hours is the magic number, I think, of this movie.
Absolutely.
So, especially since you don't have the movies beforehand to expand upon it.
Yeah.
So, my favorite and least favorite thing happened back to back.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be petty. I'm going to be honest. This is petty. My favorite part was the Nightmare Future scene. Batman,
Joker,
Mara, Cyborg with a War Machine turret on his shoulder.
Yep.
Deathstroke, and then Joker. And I love that they changed the scene so he doesn't say we live in society anymore. Because obviously it doesn't make any fucking sense because there's no fucking society left. But I love when they're fucking getting at each other's throats. Joker starts going off, and Batman's just like, be very careful what comes out of your mouth next. And they're going off, and he's like, they're going back and forth for a while, and Batman's just like, you're not being very careful. And he's like going off about Robin's dying and sidekicks and other people and all this and all that. And he's like, when I held Harley Quinn, she made me promise that when I kill you, and don't be mistaken, I will kill you to make sure it's slow and you feel it. I'm like, damn, like I actually, like first of all, I actually felt that like Batman would fucking do this. It felt fucking great. And that was the best. Put that away. This was a proper Joker from Leto.
I don't care what y'all say. I've been liking Leno as a Joker the whole time.
That's fine. You can like him, but it's not a proper Joker. It doesn't matter. We're not here to argue that point. This is one of the few times that like they got it from me. Again, everybody has their own Joker, but that scene worked for me a lot. And then Soups comes down. They all shit their pants. And then immediately, my least favorite part of the movie. It's a fucking dream. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, but it's a dream because it's his glimpse of the future. It's very much like kind of Injustice, where it's like it's an alternate reality, and he's seeing it slowly unfold.
Why would he see it?
Maybe that's the mystery that was going to be solved through the rest of the Snyderverse.
No, it was a fucking dream. They wanted to shove in that fucking Nightmare Future shit. But it was a fucking dream.
Now, I guess I do have a least favorite part now.
That they didn't include this.
The Martian Manhunter was supposed to be two Kilowog and coming down and talk to him.
Yeah,
and they substituted out
Kilowog and Tomare.
Yeah, that would have been so cool.
Yeah, and they just threw Martian Manhunter in there, and it's like it doesn't even make sense how they did it. I'm like, where were you whenever all this shit was going to hell?
Yeah,
where were you when all this shit was happening? And like again, like, why don't you just call yourself John Johns instead of Martian Manhunter? Like, that sounds fucking insane.
Like
the only fucking human on the team, and you're just going
call me
John.
Martian Manhunter. It's like no, like. Who's calling you
in my previous life or my previous world, I was known as Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Don't say fucking. Some people call me. Who the fuck calls you that?
Nobody even knows about you, apparently.
Yeah.
I would also like to change my favorite part from after what you're talking about. Deathstroke with a mohawk. Right after they showed regular Deathstroke, they showed Deathstroke with a mohawk, alternate future Deathstroke. It's like. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you know what? I told Dean this before it started.
Snyder be Snyder.
At the end of the day, this was a movie made for a guy.
Snyder, no Snyder.
This was a movie made for a guy who hates comics, for people who don't know about comics. This was not made for comic book fans. It was not made for Batman or Superman fans. It was just made for people who either like interesting movies or interesting takes on characters. Because again, it's a very unique film. I am aggressively in the middle in this movie because I didn't care about most of it other than the fact that it just didn't need to be this goddamn long. It was a much better movie. It was fine. It just was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot while giving me not a lot to care about. Everybody's so sad. Sad.
Very dour.
Everything's even like again like the scene where they're fighting in that abandoned reactor city.
Yeah.
In the Justice cut, theatrical cut, it was like sepia, like yellows and oranges, like more autumn colors. In this tone, it's fucking night. They're just like, fucking, this is nighttime.
Yeah.
So they're fighting in the dark. Great. All these characters with red, white, and blue are fucking fighting in the dark. Fucking great. That wasn't an American thing. It was just like they have like bright color costumes outside of Superman or outside of Batman, and everything's fucking like just dark tone.
For cheesy.
The movie. It's fine. The movie's fine overall. I recommend seeing it just for the experience.
Yeah.
How many stars?
What's the least amount?
I'll say out of 5. You know what? Here, I'll go on a limb. 5 stars. I'll give it 3.
I'm giving it a 4. A 4.
You're nowhere near the mic.
He says he's going to give it a 4. I'm going to go with a 2.5 in that it is firmly planted in the middle ground. It is 100% in the middle ground, in my opinion.
It is aggressively meh.
It doesn't commit to anything. Well, it commits to Zack Snyder's vision, whatever that was. Yeah, there are shades of what you can see that he was planning, but at the same time, none of it really seemed to deal with the source material all that much, and didn't even seem like a natural progression for the movie that was out there. Like, just like the fucking Martian Manhunter showing up twice in the movie for no reason. Like, why is the Martian Manhunter just like showing up and coaching Lois to get back in the real world? And...
Oh, well, I'll be honest. I fell asleep during that part. I was trying to watch it first thing when it came out because I woke up early before work and I just couldn't go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it just, I think, glazed over me because it was just so humdrum the whole time. It was just, I just got tired of feeling sad about stuff.
I watched it the night it came out. Which was the evening of St. Patrick's Day. After I closed at work, and then I had gone out, went to the bar for karaoke, sang my little heart out. Couldn't get an Uber home, so I walked. Tried to contact Paul. So I walked to 106th, and the cops showed up. And they stopped me and they asked me what I was doing, where I was going, et cetera, et cetera. I told them it was, I was out and I was going home, walking home. Said trying to get hold of my friend who lives on this block, just so I don't have to walk another 2.5 miles. And they're like, okay. After a few minutes, they were like, all right, you're good to go. You're on your way. After, apparently there was a thing going on in the park here where there was a domestic dispute and they were looking for a suspect. That's why they kind of stopped and asked me. So on my way here, I stopped at 7-Eleven and had gotten myself a bag of Fiery Cheetos or some off-brand version of that. So as they were getting ready to be like, all right, you're good, I said, wait a minute, is that blood? Referring to my hands and in the back of my pants. I was like, no, that's Cheeto dust. Anyways, long story short, after they ran my, license and everything like that, they're like, all right, well, you're free to go. You want to call taxi time or anything like that? It's like, yeah. It's like I was trying to get an Uber. No Uber's available for whatever reason. He's like, yeah, you're not going to find an Uber. It's St. Patrick's Day. It's like, if you didn't plan for one, they're not going to. I was like, all right, well. One of them was nice enough to give me a ride home. So after, it was like, all right, I'm going to take it. All right. I was like, all right. Frisked me and everything. I'm like, you got any weapons on you? Like, no, I have to have a center punch on my keys. It's like, it's not really a weapon, but it, let you know that it's there. So they put me in the back of the car, and of course, that's never a pleasant experience because they're not very big seats. So I did, in true Irish fashion, end my night in the paddy wagon. But pleasantly enough, I got dropped at home. And I started to watch the Snyder Cut. After I got home, fixed myself another drink because I have a problem. And then I got to the part with the girls singing. And I drunkenly, not tweeted, but Facebook post. I suppose I had to change my format. You got your Midsummer in my Justice League. And got a couple likes on that one.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in the morning.
Yeah. And I'm not lying. That's kind of my whole thought on the thing. And then I actually watched it proper the next day, which I suppose was the actual day.
It just, I mean, I think overall it's weird that a Justice League movie with Batman, Superman, Flash, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and the overall tone is just somber.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like, and again, that's outside of it being good or bad. It's just odd that of the characters that are essentially gods in comics, it's just somber. It's weird. And again, I mean, like, depending what generation you're from, I mean, it's, whether you're a boomer or a Gen Xer and you're from Super Friends, or whether you're a millennial or a Gen Z and you got Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, or, even a lot of the movies that come out recently, like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird, right?
Very weird. It's very weird.
Summer.
Yeah. Have a Dutch accent. It's weird. Certainly totally different. Well, Zach, I wish you luck in the future. I hope the accusations against Joss are not true. Who knows? I really just hope it's fucking the WB trying to drum up hype for this release. I don't know what to think about it. Like, this corner of the geekosphere is not great.
Yeah, I mean, well, because the passion is so strong for something they want to be good so bad.
Yeah.
They just really want this to be good, so they're overlooking issues, they're making excuses, they're looking for scapegoats. And listen, man, you can blame Joss all you want, but at the end of the day, the two biggest factors going into it were running against him. They had a deadline of 2 hours for a movie that needed 3 films before it for it to make sense.
Yep.
And you hired a director who, again, shares nothing in common with the director you just fired or let go or stepped away for family reasons, quote unquote.
Yep.
None of their things mesh at all. The closest you want to say or can get to would be Dawn of the Dead compared to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But even then again, nowhere near the same tone.
Nope.
Even when it's dark, he's still putting in jokes.
Nowhere near the same style.
No, nothing.
Like, Zach has always been a visual, and I hesitate to say visual because it's not like he tells his story with visuals. He just puts visuals on the screen that he thinks look cool. Whereas Joss has always been about quippy dialogue and just very quick, progressive, and by progressive I mean it moves the plot forward. Yeah. Storytelling.
Yeah. Well, I think the funniest part is that I think Snyder's style can be best summed up by, ironically, splash pages.
Yeah.
He looks for cool shots. He looks for what's going to look cool in a still image.
And linger at it.
Yeah, which is funny because the guy who fucking hates comics.
Yeah.
Aggressively. But he lives and dies on cool shots. I mean, at this point, honestly, I'm less excited about seeing Army of the Dead. I wasn't super hyped before, but now I'm less excited.
I mean, it's still got Drax, right?
Yeah, and that's it.
Is he the next The Rock? Can he?
I mean, it's another zombie movie set in Vegas.
Yeah. Resident Evil 4 was enough. 4?
Probably. I mean, honestly, I'd be more excited for a fucking Dead Rising movie.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But like, yeah, it just looks too serious. Like he takes himself too seriously in everything he does.
Who's your Frank West? Mine is Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Swear to God, Brian. Swear to God.
He certainly does.
I don't know my Frank West. I have to think about it for a minute. I'll say it in our next episode.
My Frank West is a much younger Lewis Black.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I think it's a show.
That's the show.
That's a show.
D has left us.
He had to go to his other job.
He doesn't love us anymore.
It's true.
It's only fans. Be breezy.
What up?
What do?
Don't do much, man, because I have to go to my other job in a few hours too.
Nice. What did that mouth do other than talk about, pop culture events?
It says this episode's over.
This episode's over. Bye. I'm going to be online. Bye.
Bye. GPU.